to stop being lazy. Some people say that they're lazy or that they procrastinate a lot or that they never get anything done. Some people call it a slump or a rut. Whatever you call it, you're not getting stuff done. Whatever you call it, you're not living up to the next best version of yourself. So there are 6 things that you need to do. You can start doing them immediately, and I'm about to tell you what they are. But first, check to see if you are a subscriber of this YouTube channel, and if not, click that subscribe button and the little bell so that you know when we drop videos like this to help you live a more successful, happier life.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
Everybody goes through highs and lows. Sometimes you might feel really motivated and some days you're just like, oh, I can't even. And that's fine. But when the I can't even days outweigh the motivated days, we know that we've got an issue. And so let's just fix that, okay? Let's stop being lazy. Let's stop being unmotivated, right? The problem here is that sometimes we're holding ourselves to standards that are a little unrealistic. So I'm guilty of this. Let's everybody just step back and make ourselves promises that we're not going to hold ourselves to any standards that we wouldn't impose on other people. That's really just a baseline truth that we need to live by. Don't hold yourself to standards that you wouldn't impose on anybody else, because a lot of us, especially high achievers, a lot of us do that. A lot of us hold ourselves to impossibly high standards. So stop it. Okay, that's not one of your 6, but that's just a little bonus tip off the get-go. All right, so I want you to take notes. Like I always tell you, taking notes helps to solidify the knowledge in your brain because we've got a lot of information that's coming your way today. Number 1, set goals, but don't make your goals unreachable. I've talked about this before. You want SMART goals. You want goals that are quantifiable, but you also want them broken up into bite-sized pieces. One example that I've used is if you have a big weight loss goal. Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. Well, don't focus on the 50. Focus on like 5 at a time. You just break it down into smaller chunks that are going to take you in the right direction. But if you're looking at the huge goal, let's say you have $0 in your bank account and your goal is to have $100,000 in your bank account. Well, if you're looking at the 100,000 and then you get $10 in your bank account, and you're like, but it's only 10. Look how many zeros that I'm missing. Then you're going to be really discouraged against that 100,000 because you're going to start saying things to yourself that are going to throw you off track. So if 100,000 is your goal, make 100 your first goal. And then after you have 100, then you make 1,000 your first goal. And then maybe after 1,000, maybe it's 5,000. And then each time that you meet these smaller goals, you're like, hey, that feels good. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Okay, so that's number 1. Make sure that your goals are broken down into pieces that are actually within reach. Number 2, acknowledge that you're perfectly imperfect. You are not Superman, you're not Superwoman, you're not super whatever. You're perfectly imperfect. So I want you to write that down right now. I am perfectly imperfect. You are human. And everything's not going to be done to the 10th degree. You know, everything's not going to be done to the highest possible performance every single day. Some days you might rock it out. But here is a guideline that I give everybody, all my clients, anybody who asks me, you know, how much is realistic for me to do in a day? I say if you can get anywhere from 60 to 75% of your to-do list done, if you can accomplish anywhere from 60 to 75% of your goals, hey, job well done, because we usually do take on more commitments than we should or that we really have the bandwidth to take on, the ability to take on. Okay, number 3, and this goes back to those goals. I talked about it just a little bit, but we're really going to dive in here. Make sure that your self-talk is positive. If you keep telling yourself things like, oh, you can never do this or this isn't going to work, and negative things, I mean, imagine if other people were saying that to you, it would start to have an impact. So it has so much more impact when you're saying it to yourself all the time for a couple reasons. Number 1, you're you know you're going to take yourself seriously. And number 2, the self-talk cycles and you don't even realize that it's cycling. So you're saying things to yourself in the background and you're not even really paying attention to what you're saying. So be careful about what's in that self-talk soundtrack and make sure that they're positive things. Number 4, you need to focus on your strengths. A lot of people focus on their weaknesses and they try to get better. That's fine, but if you focus on your strengths and you build those up, you'll be able to build those to a stronger level than you'll ever be able to increase your weaknesses. So instead of focusing on making your weaknesses less weak, focus on making your strengths stronger. It will help to fuel that positive self-talk because you will feel good when you're able to accomplish things. There are certain things that are outside of our comfort zones, certain things that are outside of where our gifts place us. And we have to embrace that perfect imperfection of the human condition and understand that we have strengths for a reason, because those are the things that we're supposed to contribute to this world. Okay. Also, I want you to track your accomplishments. It's actually one of the sections in my journal that I keep every day. I just put little bullet points down when I accomplish something. If I had a goal and I did it, I put it down in my success and celebration section of my journal, and I'll go back and check that. And then I'll give myself a little treat, maybe I don't know, extra yoga time or a walk or just something, just any little treat to kind of say, hey, good job in completing that goal. So make sure that you are recognizing your accomplishments the way that you would recognize the accomplishment of somebody else. If somebody else finishes something that they said they were going to finish, does something that they say that they were going to do, you'd be like, oh, yay, congratulations, good for you. Do that for yourself as well. All right. And lastly, avoid distractions. Make sure that you're keeping good boundaries with your calendar, good boundaries with your expectations, with your commitments, so that when you are focusing on completing these goals, you can do so without a ton of distractions. If you can follow these 6 steps, I promise you will get out of your lazy slump like that. If this has been of help to you, give me a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you know the next time we drop a video like this to help you live a happier life.